Hi everybody, welcome to Sade Crochets. Today we're going to make this really cute cropped mesh muscle tank. I made a first one in acrylic and it was really cute, but then I made a second one in cotton and it was super flowy. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave me a comment if you have any questions. But let's get started. Hi everyone, so for this tutorial we will be using, I'll be using Bernat Handicrafter. This is going to be my first time using this yarn, so I'm kind of excited. But it is a medium weight 4 in the color olive. It's a really pretty color. And then I'm also going to be using a J hook or a 6mm hook and a pair of scissors. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is make our slip knot. We're going to make our foundation chain. So if you are needing a size small to medium, you're going to make a chain of 65. And if you're size large, you can make a chain of 73 chains. And so go ahead and make your foundation chain for your desired size, and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so I made my foundation chain of 65, and from here I'm going to make 4 more chains. 1, 2, 3, 4. This chain 4 counts as your first double crochet plus a chain 1, okay? And so what we're going to do now is count 7 chains down, and we're going to double crochet into that 7th chain from your hook. So don't count the chain on your hook. Start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we're going to go into the 7th chain. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay. From here we're going to chain 1 and skip 1 chain and double crochet into the 2nd chain. Okay. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Go ahead and chain 1, and we're going to skip 1 chain and go into the 2nd chain. So insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and double crochet. Okay, so we're going to continue this pattern just with a chain 1, skip 1 chain, and double crochet into the 2nd chain. We're going to continue this pattern to the end of the row, and I will show you what's next. Okay, so when you get to the end, I just have 1 more double crochet in that last chain space there. Okay. And that's what your row should look like. From here we're going to go ahead and chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and turn our work. Okay, so this chain 3 counts as 1 double crochet plus chain 1, sorry. So from here we're going to skip this box and double crochet into the next double crochet of the previous row. So insert your hook there, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, then we're going to chain 1, skip this empty box chain space, and double crochet on top of the next double crochet of the previous row, and we're going to continue this to the end of the row, and I'll show you what to do at the end of the row. Okay. Alright, so I have just 2 double crochets left. Chain 1. And so when you get to this, just skip 1 chain here and go into the second chain to make your last double crochet. Okay. Pull up a loop, pull through 2, and pull through 2. Okay, so that's what it looks like so far. And from here, this pattern is basically going to repeat. So just chain 3. This counts as your first double crochet plus a chain 1. Turn your work and double crochet on top of every double crochet from the previous row, chain 1 in between, and skip the boxes. And we're going to repeat this for the front side until we have 8 rows of this total. Okay, so go ahead and finish your 8 rows of this kind of mesh stitch, and I'll show you what's next. Okay, so I finished my 8 rows. And what we're going to do next is begin decreasing. So to decrease, we're going to go ahead and just chain 2. This chain 2 is going to count as a partial double crochet, and then we're going to skip 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and go into this next double crochet in the previous row. Okay, so yarn over and do a double crochet into that double crochet from the previous row, and we just turned 2 boxes into 1 box. So that's how we're going to decrease. Okay, so go ahead and chain 1 and then continue with the same pattern, skipping that chain space in the middle and just double crocheting onto the double crochets from the previous row. And once you get to the end of the row, I'll show you how to decrease on that side. So I'll meet you there and show you what to do next. Okay, so I'm coming up on the end of the row. I already chained 1 there, and I'm gonna double crochet or repeat that pattern until I just have 2 box spaces left. And once you have just 2 box spaces left of your decreasing row, just yarn over and go straight into that middle chain space there of the chain 3 of the last row. Okay, so don't even chain 1 here, just go straight in and do a double crochet in that middle chain space at the end, and that's how we're going to do our decreases at the end of the row. So make sure, it's very important that if you chain 1 here, like this box is going to be way too big and it'll be very obvious. Okay, so just make sure you don't chain 1, just go straight in. All right, from here we're going to chain 2 and turn our work. Okay, and we're going to continue decreasing. We're going to do this for 4 more rows, so you should have 5 rows total of decrease. So go ahead and skip the first box and go to this 3rd double crochet in the previous row, and go ahead and double crochet into that one. So continue decreasing for 4 more rows, and I'll show you what's next. And one thing, just make sure when you get to the end of your first row of decrease, when you're on your second row and you're going to decrease in there, just it doesn't change at all. Make sure you don't chain one here, and just go straight into that middle loop of the last box of the row. And it's kind of weird because it kind of more so looks like a triangle here, so I just wanted to point that out just so that it's not missed. But continue. So now we have two rows of decreases. Continue until you have 5 rows of decreases total, and I'll show you what's next. Okay, so I completed my 5 rows of decreases, and if you are a size large, you might do 6 rows of decreases. So after you've finished your amount of decreases for your size, we are going to go back to the first pattern where we were just making our boxes. So we're stopping the decrease now, and we're going to go straight up now. So go ahead and chain 3, and this chain 3 is going to count as 1 double crochet plus chain 1. Okay, so then we're going to just go ahead and double crochet into each chain space, each double crochet in the previous row. Okay, so we're just going to go straight up, chain 1 in the middle, and double crochet into the next double crochet of the previous row. So just like we were in the beginning, okay? And we're going to do this for 3 rows, and if you're a size large, you might want to do 4 rows, okay? So go ahead and complete your 3 rows of regular boxing with no decreases, and then I'll show you what's after that. And I just wanted to show you at the end of this row, go ahead and when you get to that like weird decreased triangular box, when you have that one left, go ahead and chain 1 and double crochet into that middle that box. And don't worry about it being a little bit off, because once we get the border on, it'll stretch it out. So go ahead and complete the next 2 rows of just regular boxes all the way across, and I'll show you what's next. Okay, so this is what it looks like so far. So you should have 5 rows of decreases here, and then from there the pattern goes straight up for 3 rows. Okay, so from here we are now going to start on our straps. So go ahead and turn your work. We're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And that chain 3 again does count as 1 double crochet plus a chain 1. So from there we're going to continue the same pattern that we've been doing for just 6 boxes. So we're going to make 6 boxes. So go ahead and double crochet into the next double crochet of the previous row. Chain 1. Skip the box, double crochet in the next double crochet below, chain 1, until we have 6 boxes. It's 5 and 6. So we did that, and now we're going to start decreasing as we move up. So this is one side of, the beginning of one strap, okay? So go ahead from here, chain 2, and turn your work. So from here, we're gonna start decreasing, okay? So just like we did in the previous decreases, you just chain 2 and then you skip 1 double crochet and go into the next double crochet, okay? And then you're gonna chain 1 and double crochet in the next 2. And from here, we're just going to not chain 1 now and decrease on the other side. So go ahead and double crochet into that middle chain 3 at the end. And turn your work. So from here, we're going to go ahead and chain 2 and turn our work. Knocking stuff over. Okay, so from here we're going to decrease one more time. So go ahead, after you chain 2, skip that first double crochet and go into the next double crochet. Okay, and from here we just want to have 2 boxes here, so we're going to go ahead and decrease these last 2 boxes. So do not chain 1 here, just go ahead and double crochet into that middle of the chain 3 there. Okay, so now we just have 2 boxes left, and from here we're going to go ahead and chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and turn our work. And this is a double crochet plus a chain 1, so go ahead and double crochet into that middle double crochet space, chain 1, and double crochet into this chain 3 into the middle chain. So from here you can see that we have 2 rows of just the 2 boxes here. So we're going to need a total of 9 rows of the 2 boxes if you're size small, and then we're going to need 10 rows of the 2 boxes if you're large. So go ahead, if you're size small, go ahead and make what did I say, 9? So go ahead and make 7 more rows of this. If you're a size large, go ahead and make 8 more rows of this, and then I will show you what to do after that. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 total. And from here I'm just going to chain 1 and cut my work. These really don't have to be that long, the tails, because we're going to weave over all of those. Okay, so we have our first strap done. We're going to do the same thing on the opposite corner. So go ahead and take your yarn and find that cornermost box on the opposite side and find that second chain in the chain 3. And this one you might want to try to go through 2 of those loops just to because we're tying this knot. So go ahead here and tie a double knot. Okay, and you can leave this tail on the end because we'll weave that in. So go into the same chain space with your hook that you tied the knot on, and then pull up a loop and chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to do the same thing we did on the other side, so feel free to rewind, but we're going to do first our row of 6 boxes, and then we're going to do 2 decreases, and then we're going to make sure that we have 9 rows total of the rows with only 2 boxes. So go ahead and repeat that pattern. Feel free to rewind and I'll show you what's next. So after you make your second strap, go ahead and tie it off and cut your work. So that does it for the front side, and we're going to start on the back side now, and the back side is pretty much the same in the beginning. So go ahead and make your slip knot, chain out 65 or 73 chains, whichever one you did, and the first actual 13 rows of the back will be just like the first 8 rows of the front. So we're going to just do 13 rows of just the regular boxes with no increases, with no decreases. So I'll meet you there and show you what to do after that. All right, so once we finish our 13 rows for the back, we're going to chain 2 and turn our work. Okay, so this first row is going to be just like the decreases from the other row. So you have your chain 2 and you're going to skip this first double crochet and then double crochet into the second double crochet. Okay, just like we did on the other side. And then we're going to do regular boxes in the middle, chain 1 and double crochet into the next chain space. And then at the end we're going to decrease one more time, and I'll show you what to do after that row's done. So I've reached the end of this row, and then I'm going to just, without chaining 1 like we did before, go ahead and find that middle chain and double crochet for the decrease on the other side. From here we are going to chain 2, and this row is similar except we're going to do 2 decreases in this row. So because the back needs to kind of cinch in much quicker than the front. So we're going to, after you chain 2, skip this first double crochet and double crochet into the second. Okay, like we've been doing. And then for the next one, we are going to do 1 more decrease. So in order to do this, we're not going to chain 1. We're going to go skip this next double crochet and go straight into the second one again. So we're just going to do that 2 times. Okay. And I know it kind of looks not uniform, but you won't be able to see it once the border goes on. Okay, and from here we're going to finish our regular boxes across the row until we have 4 box spaces left. Okay, so go ahead and finish this row and I'll show you what to do at the end of this row. Okay, so I have my 4 box spaces left, and from here I'm just gonna without chaining one, just going to skip this first double crochet and go into the second one. Okay, and then we're going to do that again, except going into that middle chain space at the end. So now we've decreased twice here. So this row is going to repeat 5 more times. You should have 6 double decreased rows. Okay, so this is what it looks like. It's a little bit of puckering going on because we had such a rapid decrease, but do not worry about that because this top is supposed to be oversized, so it won't show up like that once you put it on. Okay, so in this last row here, we're having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You might have a couple more if you were making a large, but just do the 6 rows of the rapid increase. And from here, we're going to go back to our regular decreases. So chain 2, turn your work. I keep hitting the camera, sorry guys. Okay, chain 2, turn your work, and we're going to decrease like normal, just one at a time. Okay. And then we're going to chain 1 and do our regular boxes until we have 2 spaces left. 1, 2, 3, so 1 more. And then our last decrease, no chain 1 in the middle, and just go straight into that middle chain. Okay. And from here, you should have 5 box spaces left. Okay. From there, we're going to chain 2 and do 1 more row of decrease. So if you're doing a large, just do the 1 decrease at a time from here on out until you have just 3 boxes left in this row. So, and then the middle box, we're just going to chain 1 and do a regular box. And then the last box is no chain 1, and we're going to combine those last 2. And now we have 3 boxes in this row, and that's exactly where we want it to be. So from here, we're going to start on our straps. So go ahead and chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Turn your work. And these straps are going to kind of overlap, so we're going to, on this first strap, make 2 boxes, chain 1, and double crochet in that second box. Okay, and now we're going to chain 3 and turn our work. Okay, and then we're going to continue on this 1 strap. So essentially, just like the front side, we're going to make 9 or 10 total rows of just the 2 boxes. Okay, so go ahead and finish this strap and I'll show you what's next. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So once you have your 9, go ahead and chain 1 and tie off. the second strap. Okay, so you see like this one row has the 3 boxes, so this is where we're going to attach our next string. So go ahead and find that second chain. So it looks like it's this one here, and try to pick up 2 loops just for when you're tying your string on. So go ahead and do a double knot. Okay. And then from there, insert your hook into the same chain space. Pull up a loop and chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to double crochet in this opposite side. See, like sometimes it's staggered. I went on this side. I'm gonna make my double crochet on the other side to kind of balance it out. But make sure you kind of go in so that your hook is not going through this hole. You kind of want it on this side, so it'll kind of be to one side. So let that strap fall to the back once you get your hook in that hole. Okay, and then it might be a little bit tight, but do your double crochet in there. Okay, and that's your first box. The second box will be the same thing. Just go on the outside of this next double crochet post. So go ahead and chain 1 and insert your hook with this strap falling down. Insert your hook and do your double crochet. And that's the only part of this strap that's any different. The rest is the same. So go ahead and make your 9 rows, or 10 if you're size large, of go ahead and make your 9 rows of boxes of 2. So once you finish your 9 rows on the other side, go ahead and chain 1 and tie off. Okay. This is what it looks like. And what we're going to do now is sew the 2 straps together. Okay, so you figure out which side that you want to be the inside or the outside, and put the outside on the inside, because this is where we're going to attach these. Okay, like that. All right, so what we want to do is just put them together, and then we're going to take our new yarn and tie a knot into both sides. Like that. And just go ahead and tie a double knot. I could get a better angle of this, so far I have my double knot on the front and the back. So what I'm going to do from here is go ahead and take the string that you have with the double knot, and then you can take one more of these tails and kind of put it in there as well. So you'll be crocheting over 2 of these. You can leave this one because we'll crochet over that one later. Okay, so once they're both tied together, insert your hook through both sides of the same chain space. Okay, and then pull up a loop and chain one. Once you do this chain one, it doesn't count for anything. We're going to go immediately back through both sides, pull up another loop, and single crochet. Okay, so the first stitch is now single crochet together. And then we're going to go into the box space. See the two box spaces on both sides? We're going to go into both of those, pull up a loop, and single crochet. Okay, insert into the space above the double crochet on both sides, pull up a loop, and single crochet. Okay, and then insert into the box space on both sides, pull up a loop, and single crochet. And from there, find that second chain space on both sides. So find it on this side as well. My strings are all over the place. Okay, it's on both sides. You can put those back in the middle. Pull up a loop and single crochet. So this is going to be on the inside, and as you can see on the right side, it's not as prevalent as this booky thing. So from there, go ahead and chain one, and you can tie off from there. Okay, and both of these two strings, since they're kind of already crocheted in, you can go ahead and cut those, but not the tail that you just did, just the first two. So we can cut those right now. So go ahead and repeat this for the other straps, the other side of the straps, and then I'll show you what's next. Go ahead and take our working yarn, and we're going to start on our border before we attach the two sides. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of pick a space, doesn't really matter where, and we are going to crochet all the way around. So let me get a better angle of this. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. Okay. So we're just going to pick any random spot. It doesn't really matter where. And we're going to go single crocheting all the way around both sides. Come up, back up this side, come all the way back down, come around, come back this side. So we're going to line the entire thing with single crochets. So in order to single crochet around, you just pick a random spot. Really doesn't matter where. I'm just going to pick a spot in the back, like kind of where our increases started. Okay, and then I'm going to tie a double knot. One and two. Okay. And I'm going to I'm going to insert my hook into the same space that the knot was in and pull up a loop. And I'm going to chain one. That chain one doesn't count for anything. And I'm going to lie my tail flat along the top so that I can crochet over it. Okay, so right now I'm kind of in this base of the box, and so what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna do any single crochets into the base of the boxes. On the sides, I'm only gonna put 2 single crochets into every box. Okay, so go into the next box, pull up a loop, and single crochet. Okay, and we're gonna do that twice, one more time in the same box, like that. And then I'm gonna skip this and go and do 2 more in the box. And I'm doing it this way because I am on the side of the top. I'm not at the bottom. So when you get to the bottom, it'll be a little bit different. Okay, so go ahead and put 2 single crochets in every box. And then when I get to this corner box at the bottom, I'm gonna go ahead and start off by putting 2 single crochets in that space, 1 and 2, like that. And then this corner chain here, I'm gonna put 3 single crochets in that 1 chain space. 1, 2, and 3. Once you have your 3, if you're on this where your slip knot was, go ahead and close that up. Okay. Now when you get to the bottom side, this is, you know, this is going to be 1 single crochet in the box and 1 in the base of the double crochet. Okay, so I'm going to line this along the bottom, my tail string, and do 1 single crochet into the box space and 1 single crochet at the bottom of the double crochet. Okay, so 1 in the box space and then 1 at the bottom of the double crochet. And that's how we're going to do every corner. You're going to put 3 single crochets. On the sides, you're going to do only 2 single crochets on the side of every box, and at the bottom you're going to do 1 single crochet in the box and 1 at the bottom of the double crochet. Okay, and this should take you all the way around the perimeter of your piece, and I'll show you what's next. Okay, I just wanted to show you how the strap looks, just so you don't get confused. Okay, so we just single crocheted along that side, and then I wanted to show you what I'm gonna do when we reach this seam here. When we reach the seam, I'm gonna actually go into the seam. So go ahead and make sure you have your 2 single crochets right before, and make sure that this tail is lined. All the tails need to be lined so that you have less work at the ends. But what I'm gonna do is just kind of force my way in here and get a single crochet into the seam because it's kind of ugly on one side. So I'm gonna cover it up. Just force your hook in there and single crochet. Okay, and then just keep going, and I'll stop if there's any other weird place, but that kind of covers it for you. Okay, otherwise I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so I just have one more box. Put my 2 single crochets in there, and then I'm gonna find that first single crochet of the beginning of this row and go in there and make a slip stitch. All right, Now this is up to you. You can double up on this border, and I'll show you kind of what I mean. This is the first one that I made, and I just kind of really like the delicate lace. It is a different fabric though. It is acrylic, but I just like the thicker border with this kind of more delicate mesh. So I'm gonna go around one more time with single crochets. You do not have to do this if you don't want to, but if you do want to, go ahead and chain one more and start your single crochets in that same chain space. And then when you get to the corner, you're gonna find the cornermost single crochet, which is probably this one, and then you're gonna do 3 in that one single crochet in the corner. So this row will be a lot easier. I mean, it's just one single crochet for every single crochet below except for the corners. And then once you get back to the beginning, we'll go ahead and slip stitch, and I'll show you how to do the neckline. Alright, so I just have a few more single crochets in my second row of the border. And then I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch into the first one of this row, and then chain one and tie off. So now I'm going to start on the border on the inside, kind of by the neckline here. So on the inside I'm going to go around twice as well. I'm actually going to start kind of like somewhere in the back here. So it really doesn't matter where, but I'm going to start back here. And actually, yeah, I'm just going to start like back here somewhere. I just don't want to start in the front neckline, because if you do end up seeing the knot, it'll be dead center in the front. So I'm going to start it back here. And this is the same thing, it's just going to be maybe a little bit different in the V. So I'm going to go in that direction first, just so I can explain that to you. But other than that, it's going to be exactly the same. I'm going to go all the way around doing single crochets. So these boxes here, I'm just going to put 2 holes in. So pull up a loop and chain 1, and then I'm just going to put 2 single crochets in every box space. 1, 2. Let's see, I have 2 in the hole that's right before this center V part, and I'm going to have to find my way over here. So what I'm going to do is, if you can see, okay, so this is the top strap, and that's the middle, the other side. What I'm going to do is single crochet into this chain space where this double crochet is coming out of. So I'm going to single crochet in there first. Okay, then I'm going to open it up and rotate it. So now I have it kind of on the side here. See, I'm just gonna open it up. And then I'm just gonna pick like a random space in between in this box and slip stitch. Okay, and then pick one more random space in the box and then slip stitch. So now I'm a little bit closer to where I was supposed to be. And then I'm gonna put one single crochet where this double crochet meets this space. You can rewind it and slow it down if you want, but at the same time, like, it's really not gonna make that big of a difference because it won't be visible no matter what you do in there. Okay, so just do the best you can. Try to slip stitch over to the other side and then put a single crochet in the bottom, and from there you're going to be able to just do one single crochet like normal, or two single crochets in every box like normal. Okay, so I will show you when we get to the front of the neckline, and I'll meet you there. So now I am almost at the neckline. So I'm going to continue putting 2 single crochets until I reach the actual neckline. 2 single crochets in every box. 1, 2. So that's the row of 4. So I have 1 row of 6 here. 1 and 2. So when you reach the actual neckline, because this one row is a continuous row, so it's kind of, we're going to treat it like we did treat the bottom of the garment, where we changed how we were going to single crochet across. Okay, so what I'm going to do is find that chain space where my last double crochet is coming out of, that I already single crocheted into. I'm going to put 1 single crochet in there, in that space, and then from here, the top part we're going to just treat like we treated the bottom. Okay, so we're going to put 1 single crochet into the box space and 1 single crochet on top of the double crochet. Okay, 1 single crochet in the box and 1 single crochet on top of the double crochet. Okay, and we'll do this all the way across, and then when we get back to where this row of 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, when you get back to that row, put 1 single crochet into this last on top of this double crochet, and then you'll be able to go back to just doing 2 single crochets in every box. I hope that makes sense. But I will meet you back in the beginning once we get to the beginning of our single crochets in this row. So once you get back to the beginning, go ahead and slip stitch into the first single crochet, slip stitch, and then chain 1. So if you didn't do a double border on the other side, then you can stop here. If you did do the double border on the outside, I would just go ahead and finish doing your border. So chain 1 and then continue single crocheting all the way down and go all the way around. So when you get to that corner area where the straps meet and we had to do slip stitches, just slip stitch in between those and get to the other side, and then just finish your single crochets So we're going to turn this inside out so that the side that has this seam is on the outside. So turn it inside out first. That way all of your seams will be on one side. Okay? And you're gonna take your two side panels, the back panel, which is going to be longer than the front. Okay? But we're gonna line them up. So remember we did 13 and find your highest point to where before your decreases start, and count up 8 on the front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So these two boxes match. So what you want to do is just find a common, this is the topmost single crochet. So just go up and find that, the topmost single crochet in your 13th box, and then in your 8th box, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the front, find the topmost single crochet of that 8th box in the front and go up, and we're just going to match those two like that. Okay, now we're going to take our working yarn and tie a knot. So just go ahead and tie a double knot. 1 and 2. And you can close this all the way up, but I'm gonna leave mine open, kind of. So just gonna line this one string down there. Go into both chain spaces that you tied your knot in, and pull up a loop, and then chain 1, and go back into that same chain space and make a single crochet. Okay, then we're gonna just match the next few together and do a couple of single crochets until you feel like it's as closed as you want it to be. So you can go all the way down and have it completely closed, but I wanted that little slit there, so that's 3, 4, I'm probably gonna do 8 of these, 5. So just make sure that you're going into, on the opposite side, that you're going into the corresponding, like you don't want to like skip one on the back side and leave that out, if that makes sense. So just make sure like they're still like respectively in order. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna do 2 more and then 1 and 2. Okay, and as soon as you have the seam kind of as long as you want it, go ahead and chain 1 and tie off. And then you're going to repeat that on the other side. And yeah, and then just weave in your strings, cut any strings that you crocheted over, and weave in the tails that you didn't, and you will be finished.